Andy and MrTruck here reviewing another truck. We're back in Poudre Canyon. And the reason I wanted this so bad is it's a hybrid that can weigh your tongue weight, weigh your payload. Who else does that? I guess I should tell you what it is. It's a 2021 King Ranch F150 hybrid. It has all the cool stuff, and we're going to show you all that because it's going to take a while to go through all the features of it. As we're pulling more weight this time, we're pulling 2,000 pounds more than last time. So we are at 8,360 pounds. And we're going to play with the tongue weight on the scale and stuff and see if I can dial all that in. But it's so cool. So come join us for the review. So far we're going to talk to Josh Norwood. He's a systems engineer on this new really cool product the 150 has for weighing your load and all that. And so trailering is a big thing in my world, and I help test a lot of new aftermarket products for trailers and for trucks. But I was all excited to hear about this, and so I wanted to really know all the details. And I've got all the pictures you guys have sent over for the press release, and I'll show some of those. The way I understand it, you can use your screen in your truck if you have this as an option. I don't know if I introduced you at the beginning, but you are Josh Norwood, so you're the brain there at Ford. I got to remember that.
Yeah, I guess you can say that.
Hopefully.
Right, well, I guess to get to that is, I mean, the information is available to the user of the vehicle through three main paths, right? So we wanted the information to be available while you're inside the vehicle, but also while you're outside, so loading the vehicle. Right. So inside, obviously, you've got the sync screen, has all the information on it as well. Outside, there's Ford Pass if you want to use the Ford Pass app, but also there's the addition of the smart tail lamps. So that's the tail lamps have the LEDs embedded into them that gradually fill up with the payload. I think easy comparison is kind of like a battery charger where you see the lights increasing as the charge of the battery increases. Oh, cool. So it's very similar to that. As the payload in the vehicle increases, the tail lamps fill up. So it's an easy way to see while you're outside the vehicle actually placing load or taking load out of your bed to get a visual representation of where you are in comparison to the vehicle's overall payload.
Well, this cool King Ranch. Has the onboard scales and also the tongue weight and weight distribution adjustment. Shows there that I can be 1,323 pounds of payload, which also includes your tongue weight on your trailer. So let's see, let me figure this out. Looks like I'm nowhere near that. So this checklist, this is the Smart Hitch. Wow, you can go conventional, weight distributing, gooseneck, fifth wheel. And I just want to get the tongue weight, but I'm not going to have the trailer loaded yet. Let's see if I can figure this out. Let's hit the quick setup. Add all cargo of the truck and reset hitch weight for the rest of the process. Don't change the weight in the truck. Okay, it's just going to be me for now. I'm going to have to do this again when I have Izzy in here. So let's see, reset the hitch weight. Make sure the trailer is disconnected. Adding or removing weight from the vehicle will, after resetting, result in inaccurate measurements. So reset the weight to 0, yes, because that way I will know what the tongue weight is. Next one should be telling me to hook up to the hitch. Enter total weight of the loaded trailer. Okay. Well, I don't know that yet. Let's go ahead and add that. Then I'll have to change it. Okay. No. It's 6,200. Wow, went too far. Okay. 6,200. Okay. That's what the trailer is now until I change the weight. I'm going to put the Jeep on here and take off the side-by-side. So I'm going to confirm that. Enter trailer weight. We did that. Okay, now we know that. Next button. Okay, so with this trailer I can have 6,200. Well, yeah, that is 10% of 6,200 is 620. If I go 15%, that's 930. Now, I would definitely go the 930 if it was really slick outside or snowy or bad road conditions, so that I have some traction, some tongue, I need a little extra tongue weight. And I think gooseneck should be at 15%, but the Society of Automotive Engineers, in collaboration with all these truck manufacturers and some hitch manufacturers and some trailer manufacturers, come up with the idea of a 15% tongue weight on a gooseneck, which is horse pucky, a bunch of baloney. Here's a quick setup on the hitch. Add all cargo to the truck, reset the hitch weight. Okay, hey, maybe this will work. Make sure the trailer's disconnected, blah, 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 blah. Reset the weight, hitch to 0. Okay, let's see what that does. Reset hitch weight. Make sure the trailer's disconnected. I'm trying to do a shortcut. If I have to, I will. Let's go to the next one. Enter total weight of the trailer. Okay, weight's not 5,000 pounds. Loaded trailer weight. There we go. Trailer weight is 8360. 83, let's go 84. Confirm. Okay, let's go to number 3. By golly, maybe maybe I can trick it, because it says that 10% is 8,400 pounds. Increase the hitch weight by moving the load on the trailer. So that's kind of what I wanted to see. It shows where I'm at. At 10% would be 840 pounds. That doesn't seem like, well, maybe that is. I guess if I weigh 8360, 8,400, that the 10% would be 840. It shows that, and it shows at 15%, I'd be at 1260. So I'm way within range. Now that is what I wanted to see.
Don't go away, MrTruck.tv. We'll be right back.
There's what 4 signals in the tail lights, and that tells you a percentage of the load. Now this is your payload. This isn't tongue weight yet. We're talking about payload.
This is payload, yeah. So
Go ahead.
I was going to say that we use them similarly for tongue weight as well, but the filling up is referring to payload, where you are, versus the max vehicle payload.
Okay, now for to get that accurate measurement, do you have to go weigh the trailer, know what the trailer weighs, or is that later on for like the weight distributing and the hitches, or do you
Right.
for just payload? Is payload just payload?
So there's kind of the two features here, right? So onboard scales is purely payload. So that's the payload of passengers and cargo, and that's compared to what the vehicle rated payload is. Of course, tongue load is a form of payload, so that is included in what that payload estimate is. Yeah. But on the other side, there's the smart hitch, right? And that's where we're getting into, as you're referring to, kind of the tongue load and all of that.
Oh, cool.
And for that, you do need to know the trailer weight and the approximate weight of what you're towing. The system needs that input.
Okay, so it doesn't do everything, but now for even payload, do you have to know what your mother-in-law weighs, or your dogs, or your kids, or the case of beer, or all that? You have to know that number too, right?
No. So before you load the trailer, we ask you to zero it out. You have to say, okay, the next load that I'm adding is dropping the trailer onto the vehicle. So we have that starting point, so that we know any weight added to the vehicle after that is just going to be weight added from the trailer, so that we can specifically isolate kind of that load. So you don't need to know what's already in the vehicle.
What you do for the payload, right? For the payload number off of your shock absorbers, you have to know what cargo is, what the people are, and all that, and fuel and all that.
System's all capable of that. So
it can do that, really, and it knows what you weighed before you threw on the pallets of rock or whatever.
Right.
Wow, that's
that's
neat.
Yeah, the system will account for any payload already in the vehicle.
Good. That's good.
So, and then the onboard scale section of it, that's what that feature is. It's measuring any weight loaded to the vehicle in any location, right?
It's cool. So you don't have
So
to embarrass
that's
anybody by asking them what they weigh or anything. You just
definitely not. Yeah.
well, that's a good. That probably helps a lot of marriages. But that
Yeah.
I like that idea because that means that your system already weighed the empty truck and it just knows what goes above that. That is awesome. Now, I know how all these aftermarket systems work. So yours, it's all measured by pressure on the shock absorber or pressure on a switch on the spring, or what measures that on the truck?
So we're primarily working off of suspension displacement, right? So we've got height sensors on each corner of the vehicle, and based off the suspension displacement, we're estimating what the vehicle payload is.
Okay, well, that's cool. So somehow it measures squat. Well, that, of course, now talking about the next thing, which I guess is the hitch, and that comes off the weight of the truck. So you got to know the weight of the trailer, and then that calculates how much percentage that equals your tongue weight. And that's good. I mean, I was trying to avoid that thing, like some of the other things actually weigh your the trailer, but it's always good to know all those weights. But that, because you get that done, and now you're on the tongue weight, and so it tells you a 10 to 15% range, and so it knows, you put the numbers in for what the loaded trailer is, and now it calculates your hitch. And then I guess if you need to, you rearrange the load a little bit to get those numbers. And is that also how it works with weight distributing? Because that's a very tough one to do.
Sure. So it's similar process, right? You set it up, you enter in what your weight is, and then you load the trailer onto the tongue to make sure that load is in the kind of what we would recommended range. And then you go to the next step of putting the tension onto the load restoration bars, moving some of that load to the front of the vehicle. And we have a similar, this is the band we think you should be in based off of the weight of the trailer. And we let you know how much load you've added to the front axle from when you've engaged those bars.
That's
and whether
good.
or not it's in our what the recommended range would be.
Sure, and that's not easy to do because a lot of people don't understand the weight distributing transfers to your frame to the front axle and tries to balance everything out. So, well, that is so cool. So it's by sensors, by squat, and the front's coil springs. So it's a whole different sensor, I'm sure. And that's good. And then, if you want to change the spring bars, to change that weight distributing weight, you would just lift the spring arms up and distribute more forward, or what would an average person do to change that weight distributing number?
Average person would most likely just be changing how many links of the chain they're using when kind of setting the tension is usually the what we're
Well, that's cool.
recommending to adjust.
Yeah, and if you did that several times, you'd be pretty quick on that because you only want the spring arms to go up so far because you want to level.
Right.
There's a whole formula there, but I wish more people would use weight distributing hitches. I mean, some manufacturers recommend it, some require it, and that seems to be going up now with the more capacity these trucks are having. I think it's very important because most of the people on the road are new people. The trailers, when I get these calls all the time, they're wanting to know answers, and anytime you can make it safer, I'm just tickled to death. But this is good. So you're the systems engineer. So you're the guy that tested all. It's probably been tested for 5 years? I know it. They do a long time when they come out.
It's been a while in the works. Yeah.
I didn't even sneak up on you when you're going up the Gauntlet or I-70, through the mountains. So you guys, it's all been camouflaged. I get a kick out of watching you guys test. But anyway, half tons, now they keep making their capacity so much higher. I mean, there'll be semis pretty soon. I mean, the 150 on a two-wheel drive would clear up to 14,000 pounds, which to me is crazy. But if that's the market, that's the market. It's you guys' job. But anyway, the half tons, I know those guys are overloaded. So this could be a very, very big deal for safety on the roads, and I always appreciate you guys come out with this kind of stuff because I was surprised by it because I told you the aftermarket stuff I've worked with, and I didn't know if any of those systems were going on any trucks, but yours is a whole different system. So that'd be very fun to test this, and I appreciate you guys improving the safety on the road because that improves me and my family. It saves me and my family. Crazy lights. Their tail lights are supposed to tell me if where I'm at, there's 4 different lights, and the first one is 25%, and then 50%, 75, 100% of my maximum payload, which, you know, your tongue weight goes into that payload number. Everything that you're adding to the truck goes into the payload number. And 15%, I can go all the way up there. And I would still, the red shows me how much I could go up to max out my payload number, which is cool, because it is like 13 something. Let's see. Let me look it up right quick. Got all this paperwork. I might as well use it. Okay. Yep, it's 1,323. So that's what we've got a lot of weight yet to go if we want to max it out, because I've got no passengers. So I don't know if I can go find a fat friend or not. We won't even try to find the poor fat friend. It'd make him mad if I told him I wanted to weigh him. Anyway, I'm the only fat friend I have. So we're right. It's in the green. We're doing everything accurately. Yeah. I like that. So that I was able to change it, even though I didn't follow the rules. Actually, realistically, I should have unhooked it, and I might do that. I've got a power jack, so we'll see what that changes means. Well, there we go. Now I just took the hitch off the ball, so I'm no weight. So all the weight from the trailer hitch is on the tongue, and those 4 sensors are looking at it. They're saying, "Look at that! I have all kinds of room." Even above the 15%. If it was icy or snowy, I would go 15% tongue weight. And I still have all kinds of room. Wow, that's pretty cool. So it actually works. We got it to work in a fashion without hooking and unhooking, but I also hooked and unhooked, and it works. I just love this thing. It tells you what your tongue weight is, so you're going to be safe if you want to do that 10% to 15% tongue weight. And that goes to your payload. That's what it's actually doing. It's weighing the whole truck, the difference of the truck. It's how it weighs people in cargo. You set it to 0 when you start off, and then everything you add to it gets increased, and it shows how much more payload you lose by adding all that weight. And that's really cool. That's where it really gets you dialed in, so you're not dangerously loaded or dangerously hitch loaded. And I'm not sure. Let's see if I can find the button for weight distributing hitch. It's another button on there, weight distributing hitch. So I hit that, and then what does it want me to do? I see the picture of weight distributing hitch, so I don't know what it wants me to do. Well, let's try quick setup for that. Add all cargo, blah blah blah, reset hitch weight, reset the hitch weight to 0. And then this is important here. It says reset the weight of the hitch to 0 to save front axle load. And that's what it is. It's actually transferring tongue weight to the front axle of your truck. And what you adjust that for, you can, to get into your weight that you want it. We'll let it do all those things. And okay, it saved that. Set to 0. We've already done that. But that's how that works. So when you set the front axle to 0, then everything, when you hook the weight distributing hitch up and you raise the arms, it actually will show you that it's transferring some weight to the front axle. That's what a weight distributing hitch does. And that is so cool. What it does, let's go through the checklist. 12 weight of the trailer, same thing, 8,400 basically. Loaded trailer weight, that's what we got. And it shows the same hitch. Let's see what the tail lights do. Let's see, there's been a hitch back on there. As you see, I've got the whole trailer lifted up onto the tongue. No weight on the blocks or the jack. That is probably the most useful part of it, how it can, of course it's great to know your tongue weight, but to be able to dial in your weight distributing hitch, that is fantastic. Increase tension by moving chain links until the load front axle is in range. See, I still got plenty of room is what the scale's showing me. And the spring arms, I could move it, the tongue weight forward, and it would see that, and that's so cool. Now, chain weight distributing hitches, ones that just have the chains that go off the spring arm up to the tongue, I hate those. I don't like them. They can't really do good sway control. Anderson's different. It just has a chain that goes back to a bracket, which is a neoprene bushing, so it controls sway. But most of the new weight distributing hitches are all spring arms and no chains. So anyway, that's why they're still using old school technology, talking about moving the chains up. And that's just on the old systems. So this is the part that really will save you, is being able to know how much you're transferring forward, which once you transfer that forward, it'll show you a whole different percentage back here. Then it'll get you back closer to that 10% weight after you've added your spring arms and run all the systems here. This is really cool. It shows where we're at on tongue weight. Now, let's go back here and go to weight distributing hitch. I have them on now. See if I get a different reading. Okay. I'm not exactly doing this right. Confirm. So this picture looks like we've got weight distributing correct.
And I've seen some crazy accidents with trailers out there. I've jackknifed a trailer once in my life, probably 20 years ago. So these things can happen. I usually don't have if you're overloaded, you got problems with tires and bearings and brakes. And so you really do need to know your weight. I think that's such a big safety thing, because, you're the safety of everybody on the road is in your hands, and what and that knowledge is power and safety. And this is something I was tickled to death when I first said it. I thought, what in the heck are you guys doing? I couldn't figure out how it worked. And I finally read the darn thing. But yeah, it's the dampening thing and all these other things. Now, I think the onboard scales, as I recall, that goes all the way down to an XL, a work truck, a basic truck, and all the way up, which I really appreciate that. Like, what, $650 for that? Is that what that is?
This is Andrew. That's correct. It's $650 for that option, and
Okay.
You're right. It's XL and up.
And that's good. So you can sit back behind your truck with your phone and do the same thing that's on the dash, which I appreciate, because I do that with a lot of applications now. I walk around in circles and look at things while I'm playing with it, and that's the modernization. So that's good. They have two places to look at it, like big screens to look at it in Central, and you guys are getting a bigger screen out there. But yeah, this is awesome. Well, thanks, folks, for watching, and we'll get this up there and have some fun and save the world. That's what we do here at MrTruck.com.
Yeah, Ken. So this is Josh Norwood, and then, like I mentioned, Christian is on the line as well. And these two are the experts here for onboard scales and smart hitch. So
MrTruck here with another exciting trailer accessory review. This one's for your gooseneck trailer. It's from Gen Y Hitches. It's called the Cushion Surge Coupler Torsion Flex. So it's kind of like a torsion axle on a horse trailer. And that, inside here are those torsions. And so as this thing flexes, those will move up and down. Gen Y hitches. All you have to do is look at them. They're built like a bulldozer. It's all heavy-duty plate metal. Make them adjustable hitches, pencil hitches, shock-absorbing hitches with torsion, like a torsion axle on a horse trailer. These things will last you forever. You cannot find a better built adjustable hitch.